It's Frankie McDonald to my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major earthquake is on its way for California anytime soon. We can't let our guard down. Keep your guard up for people living in California, because California lies on a fault line, lies on a San Andreas fault line, lies between North American plate and the Pacific plate. The earthquake can do some damage to buildings, and that can damage bridges and damage power lines, and snapping tree branches half and bringing down power lines. It's going to bring a major earthquake anytime soon, but we don't know yet. But the earthquakes are too unpredictable. We can't predict earthquakes, because the earthquakes could happen anytime soon in California, especially in Sacramento, Los Angeles, Oakland, San Jose, San Francisco, in Orange County, Anaheim, and surrounding areas, because the earthquake is going to happen in California anytime soon. I want everyone in California to start doing your earthquake drills. Lock your dishes in your cupboards during the earthquake. When you're indoors, go underneath the tables, go underneath the chairs. When you're outdoors, don't go inside the buildings during the earthquake. Make sure you have your medical kits, emergency kits, flashlights, candles, crank up radio, extra battery generators, battery operated lanterns, and bottled water ready as well. Because the earthquakes can do a lot of damage. That can knock out power in California, especially in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, Orange County, San Jose, and Oakland, California. It's going to do some damage once those two tectonic plates rub with each other. Once it slips, that can cause an earthquake and may trigger a tidal wave in California, because the earthquake's going to happen in California anytime soon. But it's too unpredictable. If everybody living in California, be prepared for a major earthquake anytime soon. Start doing your earthquake drills right now.
Second time this month, an earthquake cluster rattling the Sierra, this time centered in the middle of Lake Tahoe. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Elizabeth Kling.
And I'm Tony Lopez. CBS 13's Laura Hafley is live in North Lake Tahoe with the deep water danger. Laura.
That's right. Wildfires are not the only natural disaster on the radar of regional experts. There's something else they're worried about, and it lies deep beneath Lake Tahoe. Earth, wind, water, and fire. What makes California dangerous also makes it beautiful.
The beauty of California is brought about by its geologically active condition. The Lake Tahoe itself owes its existence to faults.
State geologist Steve Boland says the region has recently experienced earthquakes in rapid succession.
We happen to be in a little bit of an active period right now.
At the end of April, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake hit the center of Lake Tahoe, followed by a 4.7 magnitude earthquake in Truckee, felt from Sacramento all the way to Reno.
There were some lights and stuff swinging. Some fell off the wall.
While seismologists are tracking the activity, it's not uncommon, but the fault lines in Lake Tahoe pose another threat as well.
There is a tsunami hazard around Lake Tahoe.
A magnitude 7 quake coming from the lake, though unlikely, could cause tsunami-like waves.
It would be a very significant emergency response effort in the Tahoe area if a magnitude 7 were to occur.
But how would you know if a tsunami hit?
If you feel an earthquake for extended periods of shaking, you really ought to think about moving to higher ground quickly as possible.
It's kind of an interesting idea, though, thinking that there could be a tsunami in Lake Tahoe.
But it's not something to sell your lakefront house over. Geologist Steve Boland says just be prepared.
Californians, they should have a safety kit, food, water, have a family plan to get together, maybe when cell phones are down.
Now, there is an early warning system called Shake Alert. Pay attention. That will give you precious extra seconds when an earthquake does hit.
Yeah, good to know. Thanks, Laura.
A cluster of small earthquakes rattled the Lake Tahoe region in quick succession Thursday night, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the largest registering magnitude 4.7. The trembler occurred at 9:35 p.m. Pacific time, about 11 miles northwest of Truckee, the USGS's Earthquake Hazards Program reported. It was preceded by a magnitude 3.2 quake 9 minutes before in the same area of Sierra County, seismologists said. Aftershocks of 3.0 and 3.1 in the same area followed. The trio of quakes, which were below the Little Truckee River not far from Hennes Pass Road, were about 10 miles south of Sierraville and 15 miles southwest of Loyalton. Brendan McCormack, the owner of the Valley House, a suite of vacation rentals in Sierraville, missed out on the quake as he was driving home. But, he said, he heard about it as soon as he arrived. My family felt it, my daughter and my wife told me they felt a strong earthquake, he said. He said in a quick assessment that nothing had been broken from the shaking and it had been a while since they had felt an earthquake, but we have a pretty old house, so it shook pretty good. Users on social media described what they felt. "I've felt a few earthquakes, but have never been fully alert for one," said Jessica Padilla in a Twitter post. "The house was being shook by a giant and I felt like I was on a mini roller coaster with speed bumps. Would not recommend. All's well in Truckee earthquake-wise, except a very worried dog," said Ruth Miller, another Truckee resident posting to Twitter.
The magnitude 4.0 earthquake hit now Fresno, California. The epicenter was located at a depth of 9.1 kilometers. So far there have been no reports of any damages or casualties caused by the earthquake, and local authorities have not issued a tsunami. Earthquakes in California are common occurrences since the state is located on the San Andreas Fault, which cuts across California and forms the tectonic plate boundary between the Pacific and the North American plate. There are many thousands of small earthquakes per year, most of them so small that they are not felt. California's complex landscape can be attributed to the network of faults that run through the state. The earliest reported earthquake in California was felt in 1769 by the Portola expedition about 30 miles southeast of Los Angeles. California has numerous active faults throughout the state which are known to produce large earthquakes. The most active of these is the San Jacinto Fault Zone in Southern California, which has produced large events on a regular basis throughout recent history. The Mendocino Triple Junction located offshore of Northern California is also very active, producing many earthquakes above M6 throughout history. Northern California is also subject to megathrust earthquakes on the Cascadia subduction zone, extending north from Mendocino, such as the 1700 Cascadia earthquake, magnitude of approximately 9. The town of Parkfield in Central California is located on a section of the San Andreas Fault that produces an earthquake of about M6 every 20-30 years on average in 1857, 1881, 1901, 1922, 1934, 1966 and 2004. The largest recorded earthquake in California was the 1857 Fort Tejon earthquake, with an estimated magnitude of 7.9. This earthquake ruptured the San Andreas Fault from Parkfield to Wrightwood, a distance of 225 miles, 350 kilometers.
On Friday, April 2, 2021, the United States Geological Survey reported that a magnitude 4.4 quake occurred in the United States near Eureka, Humboldt County, California. The earthquake hit early morning at 1:21 a.m. local time at a shallow depth of 12 miles. The exact magnitude and depth of the quake might be revised within the next few hours or minutes as seismologists review data and refine their calculations, or as other agencies issue their report. Our monitoring service identified a second report from the European Mediterranean Seismological Center which listed the quake at magnitude 4.2 as well. Based on the preliminary seismic data, the quake was probably felt by many people in the area of the epicenter. It should not have caused significant damage, other than objects falling from shelves, broken windows, etc. Towns or cities near the epicenter, where the quake might have been felt as very weak shaking, include Ferndale, located 26 miles from the epicenter, Rio Dell 29 miles away, and Fortuna 31 miles away. On Thursday, May 6, 2021, the United States Geological Survey reported that multiple earthquakes rattled the Lake Tahoe region, with the largest of the temblors being a preliminary 4.7 magnitude earthquake near Truckee. The largest temblor struck at about 9:35 p.m. and was centered about 10 miles from Soda Springs, California. It about 27 miles west of Reno, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It was preceded by a magnitude 3.2 quake about 9 minutes earlier and followed by a magnitude 3.1 quake that struck about 3 minutes later, seismologists reported. One of the local residents said that he felt the quake and the ceiling fans inside the house would slightly sway. However, there were no reports of damage in the area around Truckee, according to several law enforcement officials. The quake should have been felt as light shaking in Soda Springs, located 10 miles from the epicenter, Truckee 11 miles away, Reno and Sun Valley. The series brought total to 12 of quakes registering above magnitude 2.5 in the Tahoe region in less than 2 weeks. All events before the earthquake this time occurred in the middle of Lake Tahoe, about 5 miles from the shore at Dollar Point.
California earthquake warning. Serious, big one could strike this year. California could be shaken by an earthquake bigger than 8.0 magnitude, otherwise known as the big one this year, according to an expert. Bill McGuire, professor of geophysical and climate hazards at University College London, UCL, said he would not be surprised if a huge quake struck the U.S. state this year, as it has been a while. An estimated 234 earthquakes with magnitudes between 3.0 and 4.0 occur per year in California and Nevada, according to a recent 3-year data sample. The latest quake was a magnitude 4.0 earthquake that was reported yesterday at 10:04 a.m. local time by the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS. But Mr. McGuire warned a bigger quake could strike later this year. He said.